Welcome to Hardcore Divers Gear Locker. Today we're going to talk about all things BCD. Most people spend a lot of time deciding what regulators they want, deciding what mask they want, what fins they want, but a BCD is sometimes they'll take whatever they can get. But I'm telling you that it's a critical piece of equipment. It holds your cylinders, it holds your weights, and it's your buoyancy control in most cases, unless you're wearing a dry suit. So let's look at a few different styles to help you decide what you would like to buy. First, we have a jacket style BCD. Jacket style BCD is called that because you put it on like a jacket and it wraps around you. The air bladder wraps around you as well, which is an important distinction. Kind of hugs you unless you put too much air in it and then it squeezes you. The jacket kind of evolved a little bit into a back inflate. So a back inflate BCD is sometimes the next step in a diver's BCD purchase. Couple of examples. This is a Lady Hawk. It's a back inflate. And you can see it kind of wraps around you until you put air in it and it expands. But it doesn't have an air bladder that comes around the front. So these keep the air cell behind you, and it kind of gives you a feeling of a little more freedom. As you start to get more adventurous, you'll really like that kind of a BCD. Another example, and this is the top of the line for the back inflate BCDs as far as I'm concerned, the SCUBA Pro Hydros. Unlike these that are made out of fabric, this is made out of a material that doesn't absorb water. It dries quick. It's not as heavy out of the water. A wonderful back inflate. I went to my IDC with the Glide Pro. Halfway through my IDC, I switched to the Hydros. Best thing I ever did. Really helped dial in my buoyancy. Those are similar configurations, but not the only configurations that someone can dive. These BCDs back here are what is called a back plate and wing. And like the SCUBA Pro Hydros, it's a back inflate BCD. Unlike the Hydros, this is infinitely adjustable and modular. So these wings can be swapped out for different wings. The bladders on the inside can be changed for more lift. And you can actually get these wings that have redundant inflator valves. So you can actually have redundant bladders in case one of them has a problem, you have another one, you have a spare. If you're a dry suit diver, you don't really care about that because you adjust your buoyancy with your dry suit and your BCD is your backup, so to speak. This type of BCD also holds your weights and your cylinders, and there's usually, for cold water divers, a stainless steel backplate in here, which adds a bit of weight so you don't have to put so much in the pockets. And for warm water diving, aluminum backplates, a little bit lighter, a little bit more manageable, although these aren't bad. And so that might, but an advantage to an aluminum backplate is it's a little lighter, easier to move around the boat if you're in warmer water. There's a couple variations of this backplate and wing when it comes to these harnesses, but essentially they operate the same. These kind of sets can go, you can switch this air bladder out and go to a twin set. So using 2 cylinders in the back with a manifold across the back. You'll see that a lot with your more techie and GUE divers. And this has some scalability. So if I were to tell a young adult or a child even that, hey, I'm going to buy you one BCD, so make it a good choice, these backplates and wings are excellent choices because they can grow with you. You can let out the 2-inch webbing, or you can change the webbing. But that BCD, if I decide to put on 70 pounds, I can still use this BCD. It will still fit me. I can make that happen with the existing stuff here. I don't have to buy another BCD as I get older and bigger. So that's another advantage to the backplate and wing. And finally, as BCDs go, the newest purchase that I've made is a side mount BCD. As you can see, a side mount BCD vary significantly from the other styles of BCD. There's nothing on the back. You don't put your cylinders on the back. You put them on the sides. It can typically, in a side mount configuration, you have two cylinders. The back end would clip off. This gets bungeed around the top. Two cylinders. Nice configuration. You can see the regulators. You can see and solve problems right in front of your face. And it's great for the self-reliant diver because it's completely redundant in the two-tank setup. They do, however, also have a configuration with that same BCD. I can dive what's called a single tank setup or monkey dive. And that would be with a left side cylinder. So you're diving with a single cylinder. We went on a liveaboard recently. They'd only give you one tank per dive. We did the entire 10 days we were out of town on single side mount, and we'll probably never go back to a back mount BCD. That's how good it was. And for redundancy and for carrying more cylinders, you could put 4 cylinders on one of these on your sides and in the front. You can extend your range. You can do a lot of things with side mount. It was developed for cave diving, but it's making its way into recreational diving. Here's an example of a good recreational side mount BCD. I got my side mount certification in this rig. You probably wouldn't use it in a cave because it has a tendency to turtle, which means the center puffs up when you put air into it. Whereas these side mount BCDs have bungees that keep the sides or the wing flat. So as you add air, you don't get that turtle in the center effect. But these were wonderful BCDs for learning, and they were great BCDs for recreational diving. Dump valve in the back so you can put your butt up a little bit and vent air if you need to. And of course, you have a regular dump valve on the side towards the bottom. You'll notice that your inflatable hoses come off at the bottom as well. So quite a bit of a different configuration, but once you do it, you'll be hooked and it's all you'll ever dive. So these are the BCDs that are most prominently available, the ones you should probably consider the most, and that allow you to grow with your system. Instead of buying, and all these BCDs, except for this Lady Hawk, are ones that are my BCDs. I started with the jacket. I bought a SCUBA Pro Hydros, and then I got the Mares XR side mount BCD, and now I'm into a Katana BCD. This is my wife's BCD. It's a wonderful product from Dive-Line. If you have any questions on BCDs, feel free to give us a buzz or just Google us, look us up, and we'll see if we can't help you out. If you need recommendations or you need your BC service, or if you'd like to purchase one, make sure you call Hardcore Divers.